Okay, let's just do our usual. Let's settle into our meditation posture. Feet flat on the floor if your legs are down, otherwise in just a comfortable cross-legged position. Make sure your pelvic bowl is upright, not tipping backwards or forwards. You need your sacrum to be straight up and down. You can put a little cushion underneath the sit bones there. Hands in the meditation mudra. Imagine your shoulders are aligned with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. So you just kind of sort of, as you're sitting up, you're just kind of straightening. Imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light. The string is made of light as well. And you can imagine someone behind or above, just very gently lengthening you. Your head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. If they were open, they'd be looking at a spot about 2 inches ahead. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw. And let's just take our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, and the eyes, and the nose, the area around the mouth. Move to the back of the scalp, relax that area there, and just notice what's happening with the face now. Just notice which muscles are relaxing. You might notice the ears, the jaw, the mouth. And take your attention to the back of the neck and relax the neck, the shoulders, your back. And bring our attention to the neck, the front, the throat area. Relax the throat, chest, belly, hands, arms, fingers, legs, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, slightly warmer air as you're breathing out. And as we do, we've been doing for a while now, is bring our attention to the people of, or bring the people of our life into our meditation. The ones we love, the ones who are looking out for us and caring for us, the ones who perhaps maybe not quite falling in that category. Perhaps we would label them as enemy, if that's not too harsh a word. And then there's the strangers. And remembering they all have equal in their wish to find happiness and not succeeding often. Their wish to avoid suffering, constantly running into it. And this incredible capacity, as we all have, for enlightenment, wisdom, compassion, and kindness. Not hindered by delusion. We can be free of it. So this is what we're working with tonight, this purification practice. So just think, I'm going to do this practice tonight for the benefit of all the people in my life, for all sentient beings, and for myself as I move along the path towards my doing this practice for my enhance my study, meditation, my Dharma practice in general, so I can be of benefit to sentient beings. The first of the 4 opponent powers in this practice is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of a specific action Perhaps there was something that happened today or yesterday. It was an action of the body or the speech. Mostly we do things with our speech that are harmful. So perhaps just regret that. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we are going to necessarily experience harm ourselves in the future. And we know what suffering's like. We experience it all the time, so we don't want to bring any more upon ourselves. So the best thing we can do is to purify, to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering in the future. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering, sick of suffering. And so also regret the anger and the attachment and all the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again, think, I am sick of this suffering. So whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We turn to the Buddha, the doctor who has the methods we can use to purify. And we don't need Buddha to forgive us necessarily. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So visualize Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, about 2 inches above the crown of your head. And you can imagine that this is the mind of your guru, your lama, your teacher, trusted mentor, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this blissful, radiant white light. He's sitting in a cross-legged position. And he has this, and he's sitting on a lotus. And he has this radiant, beautiful face, youthful. His lotus-like eyes, long, peaceful, and full of love and compassion for us. He has no judgment towards us, not criticizing us at all, just accepting us for who we are, meeting us where we're at. Just very relaxed and loving and kind. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed to his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment of itself, development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. You can also imagine Guru Vajrasattva is wearing these beautiful silken clothes in the style of the royal style and covered in jewels. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So the next section in this little section is developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us. So think particularly of someone that you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then perhaps in general, just trying to develop compassion for all the beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think of the people that have harmed you and develop compassion for them. Because of the harm that they've caused you, they are going to experience suffering in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and I must purify for their sake. So the next is the power of the remedy, and this is the doing of the actual medicine. This is the medicine, doing this practice. So the first is purification of the body. So just imagine that Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar quite forcefully from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring in and pouring in and pouring in till eventually it forces out from all the lower orifices all the negativities of any harm that we have done with our body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than be of benefit to others now with your body. So you can just imagine every time anyone sees you even provides benefit to them. That'd be incredible. How amazing. Everyone would be so happy to see you. The next is a purification of the speech. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva very happily sending powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown chakra quite forcefully, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativities of your speech. And this kind of overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dire meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama zitame, sitam shriyam kuruhum, ha 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 ho, bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahazamaya satva ahum pe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dire meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama zitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supakaya Mebawa, Anarakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than be a benefit to others now with your speech. You can imagine the moment they hear the sweet sound of your voice, it brings benefit to their mind. It would be amazing to know that you had this kind of effect on people. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of laser light this time from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And so in a way, similarly, as LAMA YESHE says, when you turn on a light in a room, when you walk into a room and switch on a light, the darkness is instantly dispelled. So the moment the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled. All the attachment, the neediness, the anger, the depression, resentment, bitterness, jealousy, all instantly dispelled upon contact with the light. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone, completely disappeared. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom, compassion and bliss. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So as we have been doing, you can imagine light and nectar pouring from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, entering into you through your crown, filling your whole being. Or you can imagine maybe a couple of mantras each of the previous 3 visualizations. Or you can do all those visualizations simultaneously, which is a bit busy. So whatever works for your mind. So this time imagine that the light and the nectar is filling you completely and it eradicates even the tiniest, subtlest imprint of negative energy from the mind. As we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sutame Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now imagine that you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And this is a really important step in the purification process. And it's really crucial, this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind again. And without this determination, we're going to keep following the same old patterns, falling in again and again and again to the same old habits. So LAMA YESHE says this is aspiration. Everything exists on the tip of the wish. That's aspiration. We aspire to not harm again. We aspire to refrain from harming again. So just think for a moment, perhaps something that you have a habit to do. And we all have things we can recognize. There's things that we don't recognize, of course, but there's probably something that you recognize that you do. It could be ruminating about things. It could be making up stories in your mind about things that actually are never going to happen. Making up stories in your mind about people, perhaps, when we don't exactly know the facts. Maybe it's something to do with the speech. But you could just say to yourself, okay, so I'm not going to do this thing for 30 seconds or 5 minutes or a whole day. We can think, perhaps with my speech, I won't talk about someone behind their back for 8 hours between the time I go to sleep and the time I wake up, because I'll be asleep, so I won't be causing any harm with my speech. Just make a determination. And so make a vow generally to perhaps make an effort to avoid the other things. So this determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. Just flick a switch, make a decision. So to conclude, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us. And so wanting to merge with your mind, he melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So LAMA YESHE here asks or recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. And in that way, we look at all phenomena as being empty. So you can think that perhaps things do not exist from their own side. You can think things exist as dependent arisings. We understand how that works. We do know this comes into effect. If I do X, Y, and Z, this will happen. So we can see it in a general level. And then we can also maybe think that perhaps things don't exist necessarily the way we think they do. And that's probably based on the way our body is structured, the way we view things. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy that you have created during doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so we'll go to the long life prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for LAMA YESHE, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And for Lama Ursul, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe-la, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. There it is, half an hour, gone like a dream. And thank you so very much, everyone, for coming. I do
Thank
so
you so
enjoy this
much.
practice.